we're now going to do lesson 104 in Phonics, and that's going to be workbook pages 207 to 208. And we're now going to talk about another feature of the weather. Yesterday we talked about tornadoes, some of which we don't really have to worry too much about, even though we do get tornadoes here. What we're going to be looking at will be what we have to look forward to from June until November, and that is hurricanes. Miami is known for hurricanes. Tornadoes are usually in the Midwest, but hurricanes are most of all from Florida, well actually even in the islands like Bahamas and Bermuda and so forth, the islands in the Caribbean. Even hurricanes go all the way up to New York and Maine, but mostly they hit in Florida. Okay, and I'm going to read a little bit about hurricanes. These massive storms form in the warm, humid air over tropical oceans. Actually, hurricanes start from the hot desert of the African continent, which is way across the ocean. And this hot air comes across the Atlantic, and then it's fueled by the warm waters of the Atlantic Ocean, and then it builds up and eventually drops water and winds over us, unfortunately. A hurricane may be 400 to 600 miles across. That would be probably from here all the way up, maybe past Jacksonville or closer to Tallahassee. Maybe closer to Tallahassee. And it has winds from anywhere from 75 to 200 miles an hour. Now, tornadoes, if you remember yesterday, tornadoes have a force of 300 miles per hour in wind. That's why they can curl around and lift up a house and then throw it down. Hurricanes are just as destructive, but hurricane hazards come in many forms. First of all, there's a storm surge, where the water from the ocean forms high waves. There's the high winds, and hurricanes can even start tornadoes and flooding. Surge water is water that is pushed toward the shore by the force of the winds swirling in the storm. Remember, there's an eye of the hurricane, which is the calm part in the middle. That's why it's called an eye. And then all around it are the swirling winds. And when the hurricane passes, you get the winds from one side, and then there's a dead calm, and then the winds go from the other side as it passes over. So many people think that when the eye of the storm passes, oh, the storm is over. No, that's just the beginning of the last half of the hurricane. A hurricane storm tide can increase the water level from 15 feet or more. High winds can destroy poorly constructed buildings and mobile homes. Dirt and such as roofing materials, plants and trees are lifted up and become like missiles that fly and hit things. Some hurricanes can produce tornadoes, as I mentioned before, and there can be a lot of inland flooding, which is caused by all the intense rain. Or what I want you to think about is every summer, people in Florida have to think about preparing for the hurricanes, what you do when there's a hurricane warning. People should really do this before the summer begins, because otherwise there is a race to the stores like Home Depot or Lowe's to get equipment that you will need. Remember, you would need food because there might not be electricity for a couple of days because the hurricanes will knock out the electrical power. You need to maybe have some kind of a barbecue so that you can cook outdoors. You will need flashlights and batteries because there won't be any lights. You'll probably need first aid kits, and you'll need maybe the keys you have to have to your car in case you have to leave quickly. Also, you need to fill up your car with gasoline, and you know that before a hurricane, you will see lines and lines of cars by gas stations getting gas, because gas is pushed by pumps, and those pumps won't be able to work if there is no electricity. You need to have things for your pet, like food and any kind of medication for your pet or even your family. So there are many, many things that we need to prepare for, and it's time to start now so we could have our own hurricane supply list before June, which is not that far, will be here before you know it. All right. You're going to be reviewing the sound again and the like groom, spoon, shoot, and snoot. The short as in cook, took, book. So your basic workbook pages are just reviewing the and the sounds, and that should be pretty easy to repeat again. 207 and 208. Thank you. Have a good night.